things that we have been seeing over the last several years, actions from the media, actions from radical people out there, it has been clear that if you are of a certain political leaning, if you happen to be conservative, if you happen to be Christian, if you happen to be all of these things, you are under attack. You are the enemy. And what we've seen from that over the past several years is this gaslighting of the other segment of the population to convince you that, oh, it's white supremacy, it's Nazis everywhere, all around around every corner. That's what it is. And of all the people that have been called that, maybe none so have been called that more than Charlie Kirk, and vilified by the media more than Charlie Kirk. And now today, it all culminates in the disgusting, evil, demonic shit that we just witnessed. Charlie Kirk is dead. Charlie Kirk of Turning Point. Charlie Kirk, who is one of the most influential people over the last, say, decade when it comes to conservative ideals and ideas, and a huge part of being able to capture some of the younger people, especially those that are at universities, colleges, and stuff like that, and show them, hey, you know what? This isn't the only way that you can think. You don't have to do this. Here is something else as well. This is not someone who is a politician. This is not someone who held office. And he was brutally murdered for his ideas because he speaks to people. This is not someone who held office and had power to institute all of these different things. This is somebody who is very effective at using his voice to change people's minds. And that is threatening. And now we are where we are. Obviously, if you've been, paying attention today, if you've opened up social media, you know what happened. You know what happened. Charlie Kirk, at the age of 31, Charlie Kirk is 5 years younger than me, by the way. Charlie Kirk is dead. And I'm not going to show the video here. I don't even know if you can show that video on YouTube, to be quite honest with you. However, like I mentioned on Jeremy's stream, and I think Jeremy rated me, so I really appreciate that. Jeremy, who I hopped on there about an hour into his stream after I had time to, process everything and see all this stuff. I said it there and I'll say it here again. I'm not disturbed by gore videos, horrific injury videos, people being killed. I'm not disturbed by that stuff. I grew up on the internet, so I've seen plenty of it. This had me shook when I watched it. And it's not just because of it being Charlie Kirk. It's what Charlie represents. And again, it is difference of opinion. It is thought. It is using your words to speak to people. He is out there speaking to people. Charlie Kirk dedicated his entire life, the entire Turning Point USA program, to changing people's minds, to make change in this country using the democratic process the right way. That's what Charlie Kirk pushed. And I get it. Everybody in the chat, you might not agree with Charlie Kirk. You might not stand with him. And even me personally, I have a lot of beliefs that I feel are a little more fringe than Charlie Kirk's. So when it comes to policies and stuff like that, we certainly don't agree on everything. I think he's done a lot of good for the conservative movement as a whole. And that's why he was a target. Leaves behind a beautiful family. And I got to tell you, I was upset, right? I was sick to my stomach. But I was also really fucking angry when I heard this. I was also very fucking angry. And I still am. Obviously, I have to temper some of that for the stream that we're doing here. Have to temper a little bit of that. But when it comes to the video, I know it might make you sick. I know it might make you feel terrible. And I'm not going to sit there and tweet it out and do updates and stuff like that so I can get impressions. But I think it's important that everyone watches it. Even if you haven't yet, even if it makes you sick, even if you don't like seeing that stuff, I think it's important that everyone sees it and is impacted by it. I think it's important that everyone on the quote unquote right sees it. I think it's important that everyone on the quote unquote left sees it. And for as many people as we have seen outpourings of support and prayers and love and, saying how horrific they feel that something like this is happening, there are a lot of people out there that are praising this. There are people that are happy about it. Remember those people. Remember those people. Take screenshots, whatever. Remember those people. Because there are a lot of them out there. I've seen tweets celebrating that have hundreds of thousands of likes from people. But I think that video is very important for everyone to watch. Because as sick as it might make you, this is the new reality. If you think differently, they want you dead. And at 31 years old, Charlie Kirk has passed away. Some people are saying, what video is he talking about? Just got here. Again, I can't even show you the video because it's that graphic. But Charlie Kirk was at Utah on campus because this is what Charlie Kirk does. Charlie Kirk goes out there, goes to college campuses, right? He goes out there and he talks to people. And he sees if he can change your mind or if you can change his. Obviously, we know change your mind with Stephen Crowder, stuff like that. But that's what Charlie Kirk is doing. Charlie Kirk is out there debating thoughts, debating ideas, debating policies with people. And he was out there on campus and he was doing exactly that. Out there in the open, a couple thousand people out there watching it happen. And he got shot. And right now, here's the other kicker. We don't know who did it. Now, unless an update has come out over the past 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we don't know who did it. There was obviously a person, there was an older white guy, a bald guy that was arrested and walked off. That is not the shooter. That has been confirmed. That is not the shooter. The shot, from everything I can piece together, the shot came from about 200 yards away. And right now the gunman is still at large. And that's disturbing. You can let your conspiracy brain, go with wherever you want. 200 yards away with a high-powered rifle. I know for a lot of people, you're thinking, well, that's not the most insane shot. But it's also not somebody who just grabbed a gun for the first time either. But obviously, information's flooding everywhere. Everybody has their own specific theory about what's going on. The fact that we do not have the person yet is very, very concerning. But the reason this hits harder than the attempted assassination on Trump for me. Not because that's not horrific in its own right. Not because that's not terrible. Right? But because Donald Trump, at that point he was running, he's trying to be president again. But that is a political leader, a world leader, a leader of a nation. We've seen assassinations, attempted assassinations like that. I can understand why people would do it, even if they're fucking insane, like stupid, retarded, most ridiculous stuff. But it's also they're politicians, they're running for the highest office. That comes with a certain level of threat. Charlie Kirk is somebody that does not hold office. Charlie Kirk is simply talking to people. He doesn't have any power, right? But Charlie Kirk's power was his ability to talk to people, was his ability to present things and debate people. That's the power he had. And that's why he's dead. And it feels scary. Is there a video of the shooter on the roof, someone's saying? Is that true? If somebody can tag me in that on Twitter or send it to me, I would appreciate it. Some people are saying I'm having a hard time holding back tears. I get it. It is. It's frightening. It's scary. It's angering. This is what I'll say. Whoever did this, whoever was behind this, they want people scared. It's why they did it here. It's why they did it the way that they did it, as Charlie Kirk is out there simply speaking to people about his opinions. That's why they did it then. And as difficult as that may be for some people to feel scared, look, Charlie Kirk had a lot of courage to do what he did on a day-to-day basis, because you can't tell me he didn't know that this was a possibility. Charlie Kirk 1000% knew that there were people out there that want to kill him, that there are people out there that want to harm him, and he did this anyway because he thought it was important. And like his specific policies or his specific like politics, if you want, right? I have my own disagreements with him. But he knew this could be a reality. And he did it anyway because he had the courage. And as much as the person who did this or the people who are behind this want people to be scared because they know they're fucking losing, because they know that Turning Point USA has been so effective on changing younger people's minds about stuff like this, they want people to be scared. My call would be to try to show the same courage that Charlie Kirk did. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. Don't be afraid to say what you think is real, what you think is true. Don't be afraid to say, yeah, I love God, I love Jesus, I'm a Christian, I love my country, and I want to fight for it. Fight meaning politically, of course. No one here on this stream is calling anyone to action or violence or anything like that. Just want to make that crystal fucking clear. But that would be my call, is for people to have the courage to continue to speak because they want you to be silenced. They silenced Charlie Kirk. But I'll tell you something. As horrific as this is, they just made Charlie Kirk into a fucking martyr. A martyr for conservatives, a martyr for Christians. And I have a feeling that that is going to backfire in a big way. Because there are a lot of things that people can ignore. There are a lot of things that people can, push to the side and be like, oh, that sucks. This is not one of those things. My phone has been blowing up for the past little while, right? My phone has been blowing up with people who I haven't talked to in forever, barely ever talked to, stuff like that, who are not very political. And they're shocked, they're outraged, they're mad, they're pissed because of this. And I think things are going to get really fucking bad. Lugoitis, y'all need to calm down. I don't know if you're talking to me, but somebody said, is it confirmed? Yes, it is confirmed. This is confirmed now. To put in the chain of events as I kind of remember them, we'll do a little reset. This afternoon, Charlie Kirk was at Utah on campus doing his tour where he goes and he talks on college campuses. He talks to students. Some of them agree with him. Some of them vehemently disagree with them. And he talks about that. He debates them. He talks to them about these things. And in the middle of that, I think when he was bringing up gang violence, a shot rings out in front of probably a couple thousand people who were there, like kind of at the stage. A shot rings out. And if you want to find the video, all you got to do is go to social media and search Charlie Kirk video. It is there. And I think everyone should watch it. He gets shot. And depending on what angle you're using, you do see basically the side of his neck kind of explode and blood just gush. And, he falls over. Everyone screams. Crowd goes and scatters. When I saw that, I felt in my heart that there's no way he could survive. Like it just, in 2 seconds, when you see that amount of blood pour out of somebody, I thought that's it. Shockingly, we had reports, 45 minutes later, somewhere around there, that Charlie Kirk was at the hospital, that he did have a pulse, that he was in critical condition. But it was not that long after that they did officially announce his death. And I'm not a doctor. I don't want to get too much into it, but obviously you're worried about blood, oxygen to the brain through blood. When you lose that much blood, it was just, even when we heard he still potentially had a pulse, it would have been like the hand of God reaching down, truly, if that were the case. And unfortunately, we got the confirmation that he had passed away. At 31 years old, 5 years younger than me. And I have had the honor to meet Charlie a couple times. I've been to a couple of TPUSA events. They were nice enough to reach out to me and invite me to a couple of them. And I always had a great experience there. And I just got, briefly a handful of minutes of conversation between him and I. That's pretty much it. And it is mind-blowing. It's numbing. It's chilling. Most of all, it's sickening. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that the reason things like this are happening and the reason this happened is because for years and years and years, people in the mainstream media have been gaslighting everyone, have been attacking and calling people like Charlie Kirk Nazis, racist, white supremacists, all of this stuff. They have convinced groups of people out there that Charlie Kirk wants you eliminated, that Charlie Kirk wants you dead. Look at what he's saying. Look at the things he's saying. Look at, he's saying things. He's talking. That basically equates to violence, doesn't it? This is what they've been trying to convince people of. And when enough people get convinced of that by the media, they think to themselves, well, if that's violence against me, we can use violence against them. Even yesterday, I think I have this somewhere. I want to play the Van Jones clip. And obviously one of the massive things that we have been talking about today, or not today, but one of the massive things that have been discussed this week is the horrific murder that occurred of the young Ukrainian girl. But this is Van Jones yesterday on CNN.
We don't know why that man did what he did. And for Charlie Kirk to say, we know he did it because she's white, when there's no evidence of that, it's just pure race mongering, hate mongering.
We obviously don't need to see that video. I'm sure we've all seen that video a million times. I do think we see a video, a suspect, somebody on the roof. Okay, I will get to that. In just a second. I just saw that. Thank you for tagging me. But this is what he said yesterday. That to say, to speak out about the black dude, career criminal, who murdered the white girl on the subway for no reason whatsoever, that it's hate mongering, that it's race mongering. And even today, see if we can find this. Even today, here's MSNBC.
Then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Turning Point USA is
saying he deserved it because the words that he says. This is MSNBC today when Charlie Kirk has died. That's what the media is saying. That's what this bitch motherfucker is saying. Charlie Kirk's blood, portion of it, on their hands. Now, I do see this that you guys were tagging me in. I don't know how like confirmed that this has been, but breaking new video shows suspect who shot and killed Charlie Kirk laying prone on the roof of the Lazie Center at UVU moments before the shooting.
Getting right up.
Yeah. You think he'd already be in place?
You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying. He just ran from over, where's my finger? Whoa. From over there, ran in. And now he's right there.
So again, that's all we have. That's all we have. It's really tough to make too much out. But we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff. Look, we already saw the guy that got arrested and everybody went to him and like was like, for me, when I saw that white guy, that old white bald dude arrested, a lot didn't make sense to me because I had heard that the shooting that they said had come from this building 200 yards away. It didn't make sense for that guy to be arrested based on where he was close to the stage. It didn't add up. And sure enough, that is not the person that did it. We do have, I know we played this earlier, but this is the moment on Real America's Voice when they were covering this, and Real America's Voice works closely. Charlie Kirk's show, I think, airs on Real America's Voice. But it is here where they announced officially that Charlie had passed.
John Solomon's reporting on Just the News that he's passed. Yes, is this what I'm hearing? Yes, can I get it here?
I mean,
Yes. Wow, right here, Rav, at this moment, guys. Let's go around the horn, Gene. You continue on the horrendous news that Charlie Kirk has passed.
Well, my prayers are for Erica, for her children, for his family. This is beyond devastating, Eric. I've known Charlie, as I said, since he was a child, running around, coming to conservative events.
John,
obviously, at some point, you kind of just get at a loss for words, and I understand. I did see that the flag at the White House, the flag has been lowered to half-mast. Donald Trump did put out a statement about it. And ultimately, I did have this pulled up because this is Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is a father. Charlie Kirk is a husband. And this family has been destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
Never known how it broke me down. I went in circles somewhere else.
And that gets me. You know? That gets me. And it's sad and it's heavy. And it fucking sucks. But it's important that everybody remember this. That everybody remembers that there are demonic, evil forces out there in the world. And if you do something as horrific as speak to people, not only do they want you dead, they will kill you. Charlie Kirk died today doing what he had devoted his professional life to doing, which is speaking to people, talking about preserving freedom, conservative ideals, limited government, all of these things. He knew that doing that and as big as he got and all of this stuff could put a target on his back, and he did it anyway. He continued to do it. And they didn't kill him because he was wrong. They killed him because he was effective. They killed him because he was effective.